Hey group, Dr. Ryder. This is Eddie Knighton's campus analysis presentation number 2 on comprehensive universities. Had a very busy weekend. My daughter turned 18 and graduated high school simultaneously. Had a lot of family in town, so for sake of brevity and convenience, I drove down to North Myrtle Beach and visited Coastal Carolina University. Some quick facts about it, taken from the NCES. It is more girls than guys, and it is abnormally more diverse than a lot of colleges that I've seen. It's a 4-year comprehensive university in the South Carolina University system, and its history, it began as a coastal educational junior college and became a university in the 90s, and from that point forward, it's been expanded very rapidly. This is taken from the website, just talks a little bit about its students and its programs. It has about 11,000 students. 700 of those are graduate students. 73 areas of study, 25 master's degree and a PhD in marine sciences. We know about that. And to the right here is a list of professional graduate degrees and professional undergraduate degrees that you can acquire, which makes it a comprehensive university in addition to its liberal arts focus. Brief overview of the environments. The first part is physical, and to be honest, it'll be the longest part because I took a lot of pictures, and because it's summer, there wasn't a lot of people there to either talk to or students to talk to and to get a feel of that. But I did interview the associate director of admissions and just kind of got a feel of the organizational aspect. And then finally, I briefly am making some subjective statements about the aggregate and the social aspects based upon my best available information, which is the internet. Here is the physical environment. It's about half the size of UNCW with about half the students. It's pretty compact and compressed. I walked around it, excluding taking pictures, in about 20 minutes. And the learning building is centralized with the residency halls that were added in the late 80s and 90s throughout, on the perimeter. And you can see here it's just a little bit north of Myrtle Beach and Conway. This is a Google Earth. You can see the centralization of the buildings and the residency hall where you have to cross this bridge to see the business center and the recreation center. Here's the pictures I took. You can see that it's Romanesque and colonial. In my opinion, this is an artificial way for a new school to tap into that old college culture. Here's their clock tower, and this is the entrance to their auditorium, which is almost sarcastically opulent and sort of even antiquated in a way. But their new buildings are very technologically advanced. This is their admissions. Even though the outside looks very Roman, the inside lets you know that they're up to date because that's the first place you see. This is their library where there's honestly very few books. A lot of computers and places for people to work. They recognize that books are going by the wayside in education. And here's the outside of the library. The amenities, this is the thing that's driving my opinion about this place. I don't necessarily think that this is a place bent on academics. I think that they're sort of marketing themselves as this North Myrtle Beach place with the North Myrtle Beach aesthetics. Come here, go to college, but it's also a resort. Multiple swimming pools, half the students, but their recreation center triples ours in a newer building. Yes, they even have a golf course. I know they have a major in golf management or whatever, but they have a golf course. One last thing about the outdoor spaces, it's absolutely beautiful. In addition to the golf course, the whole campus is a golf course. I haven't never seen a place more beautiful and manicured as this place, and they had dozens of people meticulously working on it. Here's the bridge that everyone has to cross to go to all the dorms, which is back here. So unless you're in business, you have to cross this bridge in this beautiful scene to go to your studies. Here is the recreation center for the students. Here's one of their many water fountains. And this is outside the financial aid hall. And, they have 2 quads and just countless outdoor spaces. It's absolutely great. This is one of their residency halls. Now, the organizational environment, it became a university in South Carolina in the 90s in that system, but before that, it was sort of an extension school of Charleston University. So it adheres now to more top-down state policies and federal policies than it used to. And it adheres to those very strictly. I interviewed the associate director of admissions, and he talked about the way that the regional policies determine those by the president works with faculty and student assemblies to come to those conclusions. And he states that everyone has a voice. And even though he states that it's student-centered, he puts a larger emphasis on it being customer service-oriented, talking about the Fill the Teal campaign, which is this campus-wide initiative to improve, quote, customer service, unquote. So he professes that it's proactive as opposed to reactive. I find a lot of things at UNCW is reactive, but I think that proactivity comes from the fact that they want to stay updated and they want to grow. They want to tier up. They want to, in the distant future, maybe possibly be a leading or research college, or who knows, But it's definitely proactive in terms that it wants to entice consumers. And I do get that feeling. Has a teacher-scholar model, says that in its mission statement. So as far as its academics is concerned, I don't necessarily think that it's student-centered. And the associate director states that the ultimate decision lies with the president, even if the faculty and student assemblies disagree. So in a way, that's kind of an illusion of democracy. I don't know, maybe I'm just misunderstanding it. Here's my organizational chart that I've used in every video that I make. It's talking about the 4 frames. I would place this college, I would say it would have been over here, but as it grows and as it expands from the 90s going forward, I would say that it's sharply moving in this direction to the point to where I would actually consider this a very conservative school. Here's its mission statement, moving on to the aggregate environment. It's a comprehensive liberal arts institution that seeks to develop students who are both knowledgeable in their chosen field and prepared to be productive, that's the word, responsible and healthy citizens. So I see productivity as sort of their driving focus to produce students who are productive. It states that it takes a teacher-scholar model. The focus enables faculty and staff to mentor students. I get a feel that it's teacher-centered in this direction. And down here at the bottom it says it recognizes its own institution's responsibility to be a role model to the community, as opposed to my liberal arts smaller school that's a third of the size, who wanted to be a member of the community. It states its implicit goal is to be a role model for the community and to create community leaders. But I think that has a lot to do with the area. Here is some aggregate environments. This is their Chanticleer, which is this almost bastardization of their parent institution's Gamecock. So it's kind of letting you know, hey, we're not with them anymore, but we come from that tradition. Also, you see the mace, which is, you can go see it in the President's Hall, which is weird to me because it's sort of a medieval symbol of violence and conflict. So we have this aggressive mean chicken, and we have this mace as sort of 2 of their traditions at this school that kind of represent that, and their almost sarcastic friendliness toward just military in general, that this is a relatively aggressive sort of production-based school. It gets decent rankings. This is the rankings from US News. It's not quite there yet. And here's just an informal report card. I'm not stating that this is objective, but notice it gives academics a B and pretty much gives the campus and the party scene A and the dorms A's, which kind of goes with my idea about selling those amenities over academics. And it gives safety a C+. Here's a list of famous people who's come from the university. I didn't put athletes on here because it would have took 3 screens. But going back to the C+ safety rating, that's another part of their aggregate environment that they're fighting. On one hand, they have this bipolar thing to where they're trying to promote this as older than it is, conservative school steeped in tradition, while they're also trying to manage this violence issue that they have going. These are just clips I've taken off the internet. They're not necessarily objective either. They're just to illustrate that this is an issue that is connected with this school. So these are little fires that have to be put out no matter what the actual objective statistics are. As far as their intercultural and inclusion students, when it comes to the socially constructed environments, I would say for a conservative institution, they're trying. They are. I don't think it's their necessary focus because they sort of promote these diversity clubs a little too hard on their website, almost like they're trying to promote or prove something. But anyway, they do have very numerous clubs, and like the associate director said, they are higher in diversity than the national average. But I don't think that that's necessarily a culture of inclusion. I think it's, again, appealing to consumers. So, what do some of the students think about this school? Carolina Beach is known for its small community, and it's minutes away from the beach. Another one would be, honestly, people view Coastal Carolina as a party school. So we're starting to see that, which you can get with those amenities and that party life. Another person would say that the best thing is the school spirit. So they do a good job at having that morale. I see the morale with the employees. I do think it has a very positive morale, and it would be a good place to work. Another person says that sadly our school is best known for partying and getting into trouble. So, there we go, fighting that again. And what is your affiliation with a school that has that reputation? The relaxed environment and its proximity to the beach. There we see the beach again. And out of all the reviews, I didn't see very much about academics, but I do see a lot about crime and criminal activity. And conclusively, I'd say what it's best known for: the beach, marine biology, and the beach. So it's a place you can go to school and please your parents, but it's also a cool place that you can go to school, live in a resort, be close to the beach, and party, which I'm not necessarily so against. These are the references. Thank you for viewing my video. Apologize once again for it being so long. I'll try to keep my response to the video short and more based upon comprehensive colleges, and I look forward to seeing your videos.